Have you ever pondered the interpretation of 1 Corinthians 7:15? It's a verse that has been subject to much debate and misunderstanding throughout the years, and it's time to shed some light on its true meaning. 1 Corinthians 7:15 is often interpreted as a verse that allows for the abandonment of a non-believing spouse. However, a deeper look into the original Greek text reveals a different story. The verse reads, "But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God hath called us to peace." The term bondage in this context is translated from the Greek term doulou, which means to make a slave of. Interestingly, this term is used in Titus 2:3 to describe being enslaved to much wine. What's crucial to understand here is that in the biblical context, marriage is never equated with slavery. The bondage or enslavement does not refer to the marriage union. If the unbeliever chooses to depart, it is not the Christian's responsibility to maintain the union at the expense of fidelity to the Lord. To further clarify, the Greek term deo is often used in the New Testament to denote the binding of a husband and wife in marriage. However, this binding is not comparable to the enslavement suggested by the term doulou. Paul's advice in 1 Corinthians 7:15 is not an allowance for divorce, but rather a guidance for situations when the unbelieving spouse insists on separation. The Christian is not a slave to the marital bond in such circumstances, although they are encouraged to strive for peace and agreement. Nevertheless, it's vital to remember that this separation does not give the Christian man or woman liberty to remarry during the lifetime of the unbelieving spouse. It's a separation, not a divorce. According to the New Testament, divorce is termed apoluo, meaning to lose away, and this term is consciously avoided in 1 Corinthians 7:10-15. In conclusion, 1 Corinthians 7:15 does not support the abandonment of a non-believing spouse, nor does it provide a loophole for divorce. Rather, it offers guidance for maintaining peace and fidelity to the Lord in the face of marital discord. Marriage, in the biblical perspective, is a lifelong commitment only severed by death. Remember, the Apostle Paul stresses the importance of maintaining the spirit of the Lord's word even in less than ideal situations. The acceptance of the relative does not cancel the absolute. The failure to meet the obligations of marriage is not excused, but rather believers are encouraged to remain unmarried or seek reconciliation. So, the next time you encounter 1 Corinthians 7:15, remember the true interpretation of the verse and strive to uphold the sanctity of marriage as intended by the scriptures. Voiceover. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to discuss how you can engage with our channel and help us continue to provide this kind of insightful content. If you found this interpretation of 1 Corinthians 7:15 informative, or if it has helped clarify some misconceptions, we'd really appreciate if you could hit the like button below. Moreover, if you know someone who could benefit from this information, please don't hesitate to share this video with them. It could be a friend, a family member, or a study group. Anyone who might find this analysis valuable. Finally, if you haven't already, we urge you to subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you'll not only be notified of our upcoming videos, but you'll also be supporting us in our mission to provide quality, biblically sound content. Thank you for your support. Remember, every like, share, and subscription not only helps us reach more people, it also allows us to continue to provide you with in-depth analysis of biblical texts, like the one we just discussed. So, let's continue this journey of understanding together.